welcome to another video of Walk with Phil, and I'm here in West Bromwich. And what I thought I'd do today is take you to a few buildings around West Brom that I think are a bit of eyesores. Some of them you might disagree with, but I just think they just don't look right. Anyway, so I'm going to take you to at least 7 of them and see what you think. Okay, so let's go and have a look. What do you think of this one? Now, this building ahead of me is on the corner of Clifford Road and Bromford Lane. Planning consent was given to these flats in 2012? I think work began on them in 2013. And does anybody know if anybody lives in them? They seem to have been built fairly quickly. I don't know if anybody's ever moved into them, but they just stand here on the corner. Just this large block of nothingness, really. Many years ago there had been houses along here, all terrace properties. It just looks like a big office block. Sadly, you see, a lot of the flats today are kind of built like this, all crammed together. And this building has got some 2-bed apartments and 1-bed apartments. But you can see all the ground floor of this block has got metal sheets covering the entrances and the windows, and everywhere is overgrown. The landscaping hasn't been finished at all, and this must be around, I guess, 10 years it's been like this. Yeah, look, see, all around the bottom, all this sheeting, all these large metal fences along the frontage. And as you approach this island from Bromford Lane, and it really is an eyesore. Anyway, I'll just take you around to the other side. Yeah, as you can see, there has been work on it. I'm not sure if it's been recent. There's a pile of rubble there and a couple of toilet blocks here. But it was originally given planning consent for 12 apartments, but the company that built them, I think they added a 13th apartment, which went against the original plans. So I'm not sure if that's made a big difference in terms of trying to sell this block, because apparently the landlord has not been able to resolve that issue, and so they've just stood here idly by, looking like this, and it doesn't look like anybody's going to come anytime soon to buy any of these apartments. So there you go. To me, that building is an eyesore. Okay folks, so just a bit further up Bromford Lane and on the corner of Littleton Street, we just turn you around and we see this place. This is a church, and it's, you'd say it was on the Ling estate, and it's called the Good Shepherd with St John Church, West Bromwich, and it's still a working church, and they have after school clubs, and they have a community setting, but sadly it is not a very attractive church. It's a bit like a Second World War type bunker. And the front here, by the cross, it states that this church is open. Please book your baptisms, weddings and funerals. Now that's the problem, because back in the early 2000s, I remember hearing a report that this church was voted as the ugliest church in the country. Now, you could say it's ugly, but it's just nondescript. It's just a mixture of little buildings like kind of stuck together as far as I can see. The entrance to it does not look all that appealing. It says welcome to, and the sign is kind of faded. I think it says Good Shepherd Church, but very difficult to see. It does look as though it was a 60s build, and looking at the side here by the windows, it does appear to be like a pub. So I'm not sure how many people would want to get married in a building that is said to be one of the ugliest, or the ugliest church in the country. So I'm not sure how many weddings they actually get here, but they do advertise that they are open for weddings. Let's just go round the side here of Blacksmith Way. Let's have a bit more of a view around this side. And it does have that feel of more of a pub and a social club, if you like. Bit of a car park going on at the rear. You've got a bit of CCTV now in operation. There's a car park, but do not park. Okay. Yeah, so this is the Good Shepherd Church then, in the Ling. It was voted the ugliest church in the country. What do you think, folks? Have you seen an uglier church in West Bromwich? There may be uglier churches, but as far as West Bromwich is concerned, it's not a particularly attractive building. There's a bin there, just stuck up there on the side of the walkway. One last look up there, up the steps to the main door. They have fitness classes as well. So there's a lot of advertising in and around the church to get people to come to it, and how frequented it is, I wouldn't know, but there you go. There's the Good Shepherd Church for you, and it makes my list as one of those eyesore buildings in West Bromwich. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section below. It was back in 2018, it was proposed that they would have a new recycling plant in West Bromwich, and it was going to be sited around the Kelvin Way area of West Bromwich, and the people of this particular area objected to the proposal, and in fact there was around 450 to 500 signatures objecting to the proposed building of the recycling centre. And you can ask yourself, why would people object to a building that would do good for the town in terms of recycling waste and producing electricity from that waste? Well, let's have a look why people are not happy with this particular building. I can't get in the building, it's all secure. But look at this. It's like the construction of some giant sea-going vessel, and it ain't finished yet. You can see people there on the structure still working on it. It's been going like this since around 2021, when the area was being levelled to build this site, and it's ginormous. They're using thousands of tons of concrete, some kind of bunker type building, containing turbine halls, boiler halls, tipping halls and various other buildings within this one giant building. It's huge and it hasn't finished. It's going to be called the Kelvin Energy from Waste Facility, but you can see they've got all these like wonderful messages around the side. 2.3 million tons of unrecyclable waste away from climate damaging landfill. It's going to create high pressure steam from the waste, which will then be used to create electricity to power up to 95,000 homes. It seems to me to be a huge, colossal waste of money. And as for all those poor people that signed the petition to ensure this place didn't get built, of course the councils utterly ignored their pleas not to build this monstrosity. The recycling plant, I'm kind of at the wrong end really for you to really get a feel for its size and presence. Carbon negative, provide homegrown power for 630,000 homes. When I last looked it was 95,000, now it's gone up to 630. I don't know what's correct. And there's quite a diverse bunch of people who would be working on site. Okay. Whatever you think it's an eyesore or not, it certainly is to me. Yeah, it was back in the 70s, very early 70s, and they decided to build something on the old site of the George Salter Spring Company. And what they came up with was a huge office building, office block. And I thought I'd just show you from this angle of this building. Now, I've no knowledge of this building in particular as to who owns it, whether it still has any links to Bond Wolf, I don't know. But you can see there in the distance, it just looms into view. It just appears to dominate all around Dartmouth Square, the High Street, which is the upper part of the High Street, and it just gets completely out of place. It was then, and it still is now. What I'll do, I'll get a little bit nearer, and so you can see for yourself what sort of building it looks like close up. I just noticed this building here opening up in Bull Street, and as if we didn't need another nail bar, we get another nail bar. It's called the West Bromwich Nail Salon. Yeah, I was hoping maybe we'd get a florist or one of those new age shops, you know, but no, it's another nail bar. Yeah, okay, so yeah, I'm in Dartmouth Square, and there you go, there's the building. It looks like, this building, it looks like one of those licorice all sorts that you get in those Bassett's packets of all sorts, you know, the black and white one. And that's what it looks like, and that's forever on the side, offices to let. Now I think it says West Plaza down the bottom. I think it's a hotel of sorts. And is it Mercure Hotels? But I've heard many stories of this of late. Some of the floors are let off to migrants, and also a floor or two has been let off to, or parts of it, to Sandwell College for students, because you can never get enough students learning facilities, so some of that was let off to the Sandwell College as well, as I believe. So it's got a variety of uses, I understand, but nevertheless the building itself is so out of place. So there you go, there's the licorice all sort building, Bond Wolf House, here on the junction of the High Street and the West Bromwich Ringway. Okay, what do you think? Yes? No? Eyesore? It is to me. I don't suppose you can do a list of eyesore buildings without adding this particular one, because it's an eyesore. I'll get a bit nearer and we can get the full impact of the building which was called the Public, the Sandwell Art Centre. As a bonus, I just thought I'd show you these flats. I mean, I don't know where all these slatted businesses on the front. That's the problem with architecture, isn't it? They can't make anything just conventional. They've got to be a bit wacky and a bit bizarre. Slatted boards at the front. I don't know what they're supposed to... I don't think they have any function at all. And I don't even think they look pleasing on the eye. I think it's just the slats really that make that look a bit of a nice. And of course that brown stain, that brown rust stain on the front doesn't help. Okay, so approaching it from this side on angle, we've got the 3 degrees statue ahead of me, which is the statue of 3 very famous West Bromwich Albion football players. And yeah, I'm going to take you to the side where you would see when you came out of the Queen Square shopping centre. Just notice this little statue here behind, which it states that it's Phil Lynott, son of West Bromwich, born in this town on the 20th of August 1949. He was the lead singer of a band called Thin Lizzy, and he was actually born at Hallam Hospital. And you can see at the rear of this building, I mean, look at the state of it at the rear. It was finally closed down in 2013, £72 million. But why so big? Why so big? And this is the sort of thing you'd see that confronts you when you come out of here, the Queen Square shopping centre. You come out the doors and this is what you see. And prior to this, it used to be a bus station. And I think most residents of West Bromwich would have liked to have seen the bus station still standing there when they came out of Queen Square shopping centre. It's true to say that when it opened there was stuff inside it. They even had a 450-seat theatre which was needed at the time, because West Brom hadn't really got a cinema after the new Kings closed in 2002. And this particular aspect of the art centre did well. It was the cafe, and it still says Sandwell Arts Cafe, never been removed, even though it hasn't been a cafe since 2013. Yeah, it's still there. Now, of course, it's another college for the millions and millions of students that we have here in West Bromwich. Yeah, there you go. It's called the Central St Michael's Sixth Form College. But there was never, ever a need to build something as absolutely astonishingly huge like this. It's just marooned here in New Street, next to the New Square shopping centre, like some oil tanker cast adrift in the Atlantic Ocean, with its crazy style windows. Now, if the designer, Mr. Alsop, hadn't made a hack of it inside, I'm sure it could have had more uses, but as it is, with its sloping interiors and weird windows and goodness knows what else is in there, it couldn't be nothing more than be fit for another college. An unmitigating disaster. I accept that some people would say that it's not a bad looking building really, it's just in the wrong place. But when they did create the art centre, yeah, it could have done well, but why the size? Why the huge size? It was said by the government of the day that this woeful building was a gross waste of public money. Just imagine what £72 million we filled with today. Okay, another building that's made my list of One of the eyesores, West Bromwich, is this place. Here in Dartmouth Park, we've got what is known as the Pavilion. Now, I just look at it, and it does look like a pile of sticks. You know, it replaced a building fondly remembered as the refreshment room. It got destroyed by fire in around 1993, and in its place was this thing. And what you do, you can go in, you can climb some wooden steps, and you can get quite a bird's eye view of the park if you climb to the very top. But unfortunately, every time I've been in there, there's gates that are padlocked and you just can't get in. Lower level you can enter just to use the toilets, but we've got some wooden seating area here, and I'm looking at this side of the building, and it doesn't get any better. Yeah, so just having a quick look around here. Lots of CCTVs in operation. And yes, apparently I've been told this particular building that is an exact copy of some similar building in France. The old refreshment room was far more suited to the park than this bamboo style building. Quick look inside. And it really isn't nothing to shout about anymore. Stairs, you could carry on right to the top and have a good view of the park at the very top, but sadly it's all closed off now. You can't enter it anymore because of health and safety grounds. You'd have thought they'd have thought about the health and safety before they built it, wouldn't you? But anyway, and just have a quick look at this angle to give you some idea of what we're talking about. Well, I don't know. Anyway, folks, what do you think? Okay, the next building that's made my list of the eyesores is this one here on my right. It used to be some kind of church, and you know, since the 1970s, when I first caught sight of this place, it was never ever used. I'm sure it must have been, but I remember it never being used. It's falling apart. You've got some dirty blinds behind the windows, and funny enough, at the front here it's all been mowed. The sides have not been mowed, so it does appear that someone is attending to the frontage but not the building. There's no gate here, so we'll have a walk up. As you can see, it's doesn't look in very particularly good order, especially top the window. The doors is shuttered, so you can see it's not used anymore. One of the windows there are all bricked up inside, and yeah, let's have a quick look around the back. Yeah, you go around the rear of the building, and again you can see the grass is all cut, and there's houses there ahead of me. I don't know what used to be on this particular patch. You can see there was some building or other on here, but now this building is well secured, padlocked, shuttered, and it's no longer in use, and I don't think it's been in use for years and years. But on that basis, looking at it from the roadside, it's just an eyesore. It's an eyesore. And it's not so much that it's an eyesore, it's just that it's not being used for anything. It's a building that we all pass, and I dare say we often wonder what it was for. But as you can see, it was once a church. It was the Forever Living Christ Ministries International. All are welcome, but now you're no longer welcome, as the building is now rapidly falling into disrepair. Okay, so there is another building here in West Bromwich that classes as one of the eyesores here in West Bromwich. We've visited a few of these, what I would consider to be EYESORE Buildings. And whether you feel the same or not, just let me know in the comments section. If you see any buildings that you think are eyesores here in West Bromwich, let me know and I might check them out again at a future video. Okay, so if you like the video, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and also hit the notification bell for future videos, and I'll see you on the next one.